Hisuian Goodra is a Pokemon that I had really high hopes for. I thought this Pokemon looked really good. It has fantastic stats, a great Steel Dragon typing, vast move pool. Seemed like a great improvement over the original Goodra. I also thought its choices for abilities seemed good. I mean, Sap Sipper grants immunity to Spore and Sleep Powder. Shell Armor is great with the Acid Armor Body Press set to deny crits. And Gooey is also nice to lower enemy speed on contact. But unfortunately, I was very wrong about this, and Hisuian Goodra ended up in UU. This Pokemon, despite all of the great advantages it seems to have, wasn't quite on the power level for OU. I think this Pokemon just doesn't function very well in practice. Assault Vest is a nice set. It's very bulky in the short term, but it has no good recovery. It would have to rely on rest for recovery, which is too passive and easy to take advantage of. Compare Hisuian Goodra to Pokemon like Slowking Galar, who can pivot and has Regenerator for safe healing. If you want a win condition that can boost up defensively and take advantage of Terra, there are Pokemon that fill that role more effectively, like Garganical, Dondozo. I love the design of this Pokemon, both visually and gameplay wise. It has a unique typing, so many unique traits that nothing else has, but unfortunately just isn't a great fit. At least not enough to be widely used and ranked in OU. But some good players saw potential in the unique advantages of Hisuian Goodra and managed to actually see great success with it on the Gen 9 OU ladder. The first big example of this was with Pinkacross using this team in the pre-DLC post-home metagame featuring Hisuian Goodra and managing to hit rank 1 on the ladder with it, which was very impressive. This team has kind of a similar structure to the Alamamola team that I also featured on my channel by Pinkacross. It is a fairly aggressive team relying on Thunderous Therian as well, with choice specs as a breaker to make progress and bulky pivots like Landorus Therian and this utility Cinderace. And on this kind of team, Hisuian Goodra can actually work very well as that temporary short-term special wall. It's not going to stick around as long as something like Slowking Galar or Garganical, but on this team, a temporary special wall that can also do a lot of damage is exactly what you need, because it can make way for these powerful breakers, Thunderous Therian and King Gambit, and also the Booster Energy Iron Valiant to actually clean up afterwards. Games are going to go shorter with this team because it has such firepower. It's aiming to win quickly. So Hisuian Goodra doesn't need to stick around long. It just needs to wall special threats a couple of times, do big damage, leverage that bulk for progress, and then clean things up. Very smart team. I think Pinkacross is a great team builder because you can see potential in these overlooked Pokemon that have unique advantages nothing else has. This team is outdated now, was built before the DLC came out, but still a good showcase of what Hisuian Goodra can do on the right team, and Pinkacross has a video that I would recommend checking out as well, explaining the team, and a Smogon Thread too. But that would not be Hisuian Goodra's last hurrah, because here it is once again achieving a high ladder position on this team that peaked number 5. This team was a joint effort built by the players awyp and VicBoss, who was also featured on the channel before. This one is not using an Assault Vest, it's using a Leftovers, and it is aiming to actually stick around for a bit longer. This is an Acid Armor Body Press Win Condition set. This set benefits a lot from the Rillaboom buff, because Rillaboom is more worth using on teams now that it has Grassy Glide again, and Goodra benefits not only from the chip heal of Grassy Terrain, but also the nerfing of Earthquake. In Grassy Terrain, the move Earthquake deals half as much damage, which is amazing for this Steel type, who was weak to ground. What's nice about this set in the current meta is that it matches up very well against Ogerpon Wellspring. Not only are you completely immune to grass thanks to Sap Sipper, you resist water as well, and you can set up against Ogerpon Wellspring and take advantage of it. Hisuian Goodra's Dragon Steel type combo also helps out against Pokemon like Zapdos, who resist both of the stab types, Walking Wake, miscellaneous special threats, and a Poison Terra type is nice to give you both Fairy and Fighting resistance, which helps out a lot against Iron Valiant, who is otherwise kind of a threat for Goodra. Grassy Terrain also patches up the ground weakness of Poison type pretty effectively. This team is using two different bulky win conditions, this Goodra and the Curse Garganical. Both complement each other well. This one's invested in special defense mostly, this one in physical defense. You can choose which one to Terra on depending on the matchup. Court Change Cinderace has risen in popularity so much, and it really supports this team that can be quite hazard weak. This is one of the best anti-hazard mechanics in a world where Goldengo is so common, and this set is actually running Blaze, I assume because you don't want to become normal type when you click Court Change, you want to maintain your Pyro Ball, Stab. Swords Dance on this and Attack Investment is also kind of cool as a fast potential alternative win condition. I think this team is really creative, and luckily we do have replays. This was made post the replay purging, and let's see how this goes against a Sticky Web matchup. This is one of the most popular archetypes right now. We hate to see a Hurricane miss, but I think honestly this team is quite solid into Sticky Web. Court Change gets it. Court Change can't be stopped by Goldengo. I'm pretty sure we can even U-turn to Cinderace and make it happen. Volt Switch, Rillaboom, no worries. With so many slow offensive threats like Rillaboom, King Gambit, and even the bulky sweepers Goodra-Hisui and Garganacl who don't even need speed to be effective, it's not bad. And then look at Hisuian Goodra taking nothing from Fiery Dance and healing up so much, shuffling stuff around with Dragon Tail. This walls Iron Moth so easily. And look at this, we're setting up Acid Armor. This is actually so good. It's so bulky with Grassy Terrain up. And it's nice in this fast-paced metagame to just have so much passive healing like this. You wall Ogerpon Wellspring well, losing leftovers sucks, but Body Press is gonna KO this. Ivy Cudgel gonna do nothing. This is really effective. In comes Goldengo. I expected a Great Tusk, actually. But gonna Dragon Tail, pop the balloon for what it's worth. Now Garganacl can Earthquake that, and Body Press obviously drops this, but I was thinking maybe Goodra would pull the trigger on Terra there to live that and get the Body Press through, but not really worth it. Court chains the sticky webs away. Goodra has done so much, it totally allowed for this victory. And look at that, the static on the rapid spin. This is such a great matchup into, wow, good Earthquake though at the roost. Well played. This is really good at the sticky web. You have so many tools against it. The Hisuian Goodra handles the offensive threats so well, especially Iron Moth, who is so popular right now. Hisuian Goodra is such a good call against Iron Moth. This is as good as over. Grassy Glide does how much? Let's go. Let's go Rillaboom. Iron Moth is handled by Garganacl, surely. Resistance on fire. Still have a Terra to spare. Earthquake gets this easily. Salt Cure, also fine. Allows you to heal up as well. Cultured Frog, the enemy here, is going for a King Gambit win condition. I don't think it's going to work out though. We've got a King Gambit of our own on the field. Gonna Terra Fighting and Low Kick to finish off the game. What a beautiful showcase of Hisuian Goodra against one of the most popular team archetypes right now. Sticky Web offense. The court change matched up so well. The Hisuian Goodra walls Iron Moth like nothing else. And Ogerpon Wellspring, I mean, what a good meta call. So even though I was incorrect about Hisuian Goodra initially, and it wasn't quite as powerful as I expected, falling down to UU, this is the kind of well-designed Pokemon that can rise up to fill gaps and solve problems with its unique, powerful traits, which it definitely has, both in the post-home metagame and the post-DLC 1 metagame. We have new DLC coming on the horizon, which is going to shake up the metagame a little bit. Will we see Hisuian Goodra rise up once again to fill some kind of specific problem and get a highlighter position? I think it's very possible. I'll link the Team Paste and the Smogon Thread for this one in the description and the pinned comment. Thank you for watching, everybody. What do you think of Hisuian Goodra? I think it's one of my favorite recent Pokemon designs. Who are you looking forward to using the most in the new DLC? Let me know down below. Thank you for watching.
KO'd by one hit! It scattered spike!
The money got different, cause of what I'm spending.